Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and today I'm going to do the 20 questions book tag. I was tagged to do this by Max Reads and let's just get started. There's 20 questions, let's power through them. I'm looking down because I'm on my computer. Question 1, how many books is too many books in a series? For me, that doesn't matter. I love long series. There's one series that I've read that's like got 12 or 13 books in it, and there's other series, the Discworld series, I'm reading bits and pieces of, but aim to read the whole lot of them, and there's like 40 of them. I don't think there's too many books. I just think you can tell when an author doesn't really know what they're doing or where they're going with the story, and like the last couple of books are rubbish. You can tell. So as long as an author has a clear-cut plan, an idea of for the overall series, I think any number of books works. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I quite like cliffhangers, especially if they're like between chapters or between books in a series. I don't like if it's a standalone book and it's got like a cliffhanger or like an unsolved ending. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it just really annoys me. It's like, what was the point in reading that if I'm not going to get any satisfaction in the wrap up of the story? So it depends. I can be quite fussy about whether I like it or not. Question 3, hardcover or paperback? If you can look at all my books behind me, paperback. I do have some hardbacks, but hardbacks are really expensive, really large, heavy and annoying to carry about. Paperback all the way. Question number 4 is your favourite book, and it's going to have to be a recent read, and it's Pirasani by Susanna Clarke. I absolutely love this, my favourite book of 2020, maybe my favourite book of the last few years, perfection. Loved it so much. Number 5 is your least favourite book, and it's going to have to be A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. It didn't do it for me. I didn't get it. I've talked about it in other videos. Meh. Number 6 is Love Triangles, yes or no? I'm going to have to say no. I don't read romance at all as a genre. The only time I come across romance or relationships in the books I read is if it's intermingled with like a high fantasy or like a heavy science fiction, or if it's in like a supernatural story. So it's never the forefront romance. So I would just say no to Love Triangle because I can't be dealing with drama. Question number 7 is the most recent book that you just couldn't finish. And I think that's going to have to be Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I picked it up, I read the first 60 or 70 pages and I put it down a few months ago, and I'm not really inclined to pick it up right now. I'm just not in the mood for fantasy, and I haven't been this whole year in the mood for fantasy, and it was just going really slow and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. So we'll see if I actually ever go back to that. Question number 8 is a book you're currently reading, and I'm currently reading 2 books. The first is The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, which is the third and final book in the Winter Night trilogy. I'm finally finishing it off. Praise be. And the second book I'm reading is Inkheart by Cornelia Funk, which I'm rereading with a couple of friends. Question number 9 is the last book you recommended to someone. I just wrote my Goodreads review for this. I also just filmed my video review for this, and talking to my sister yesterday, I recommended that she read this as well. So covering all the bases. Question number 10 is the oldest book you've read by publication date, and that's going to have to be Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This was first published, if I can find the right page, first published in 1868, because it's a classic and it's a huge chunk. Question number 11 is the newest book you've read via publication date, and again, The OMG Effect by Reverend Grace Lee. This was published on the 26th of November. Question number 12 is your favourite author, and I think I'm going to have to go with Becky Chambers, who is the author of the Wayfarer series, and she also wrote a novella called To Be Taught If Fortunate. I think she's my most recent author that I love. Question number 13, buying books or borrowing them? Buy them. My local library doesn't have a lot of selection, and I'm very random with what I like to read and when, so I like having a small selection of TBR books and I can just pick randomly what I want. But I mostly buy second-hand books. Now I'm going to get controversial here. Question number 14, a book you dislike that everyone else seems to love, and it's going to have to be The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I never finished this. I think I got 2/3 of the way through, and I was like, I am bored to death so much. This was so unbelievably slow. The writing's tiny, and it felt like I was reading a textbook. The main character, I can't remember his name. Is it Kvoth? Kvoth? Coat? What's he called? Kvoth was such a huge self-insert, a Mary Sue if I've ever come across one, especially for a male in a book. He was perfect, could do everything, excelled at everything, was the best. Everything went his way. It was so pretentious and I just couldn't be bothered. And the series hasn't even finished yet, and who knows if it ever will be finished. I do like Patrick Rothfuss as a person. Like, I like him online. He's great, but far too slow. Nothing happening. Not for me. Sorry, no offence if you like it. Oh my goodness, you are going to die, kitty. You need to calm down. Come on. No. Come on. Are you gonna... Sorry if I keep moving about in between jump cuts. It's because I have to keep getting my kitten from the top of the bookshelves when he gets stuck, because he's silly and he doesn't realise that he can get up but he can't get down, and then he starts getting really upset because he's getting stuck. Question number 15. Bookmarks or dog ears? I don't think I've ever really dog-eared my books. I've bookmarks all the way, or receipts, or scrap bits of paper, or post-it notes. Anything thin and flat goes in a book before I would ever think to dog-ear it. Question number 16, a book you can always reread, and that's going to have to be Gravesite by Charlene Harris. This is the first book in a quartet series called the Harper Connolly series, and it's a really random book, but I reread this like 3 days ago, and this is probably like the 10th time I've read it. It's just such a quick read. Question number 17, can you read while hearing music? And I can. I love listening to classical music while reading. Sometimes I like listening to music with words in it, but it depends what kind of book I'm reading, and usually it has to be classical because the words are distracting. I think I'm going to show you what my cat's doing. What are you doing? Are you stuck? Are you being a pest? Oi! Oi, oi, oi. Why? Be at peace. So again, the camera has changed. There's like 3 questions left. I can do it. Question number 18. One point of view or multiple points of view within a story. And it depends. I can do either, but I don't like there to be more than like maybe 3 or 4 points of view. As soon as you start getting more than like 5, I get really confused. I'm easily confused anyway with things like that. So maybe 1 or 2 or 3 is like the sweet spot for me in terms of point of view, and they have to be very distinct voices. If there's any confusion or blurred lines between that, I'm lost. I can't differentiate between them. I'm quite clear and need blunt separation between everything. Question number 19, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? 90% of the time I read it over multiple days. Yeah, and I do that, but sometimes if I have the time or I'm really, really into the book and it's just at that point, I can binge read a book. That happened when I read Perisani. I read the first 20 or 30 pages like at night before I went to bed, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, I'm really intrigued to see this went. And then the next day I picked it up at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon and I read the whole rest of it in one sitting, which wasn't hard because it was only like 245 pages long, but I read the whole rest of it in one go because it was amazing and I couldn't put it down. So it depends about the book and my enjoyment and how eager I am to find out what's going on. And the last question, question number 20, is who do you tag? And I'm not going to tag anyone this time because I've done a lot of tag videos lately and I've been tagging the same people for everyone and I feel bad. So if you see this video, you want to do the tag, just say you've been tagged by me or just do it anyway, it doesn't matter. But I'm not going to pick anyone in particular because I've been doing a lot of tags lately. But yeah, that was my 20 questions. If you've got any questions other than that I haven't answered, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know if you've done this video too. Tell me and I'll go watch it. If you aren't subscribed already, please do subscribe and join me. Been putting out a lot of videos lately and we're coming up to the end of the year and I would love to gain some more subscribers, would be excellent. As always, my social media links are in the description. My cat was interrupting. He's got his own Instagram if you'd like to see cute cat videos for my kitten. Thank you for watching and I need to go take him out of the Christmas tree again. Excuse the mess in the living room though, look him. Are you sorry? What are you doing? Yes, the Christmas tree is in the middle of the room. It's because he was jumping off every flat surface of height to get to it. But he can now leap from the floor into the tree. So I don't know what's next. If you've got any tips for keeping your cat out of your fake Christmas tree, let me know. Desperate to know. Thank you. See you later. Bye.